In the past 3 decades alone, 1/3 of the planet's natural resources have been consumed. It's in 30 years, 1/3 of the resources. And in the USA, we now have less than 4% of our original forests, and 80% of the planet's original forests are gone.
Goodwill's mission, as I said, is to help individuals prepare for, find, and retain employment. So I say with the greatest reverence, all the treasures that people share with us help us put investment back into people so that they can either move on to a job or move on to a better job. So it's really the ultimate in upcycling. Again, I mean it in a very reverent way. And we do that by running 3 very large small businesses. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. And there's a donation cycle that we'll be following as I talk about that. But it's everything we do with all the treasures that we handle is a means to an end to help people get back to work or to move on to an area of self-sustainability. How does it start? It starts with a treasure. 20,000 tons of treasure came into our Goodwill last year from about 426,000 donors. And we can tell you that north of 95% of these items are sold, salvaged, or recycled in some way.
We are Greater Akron, an architectural salvage and design repurposing company. What we also do as part of the architectural salvage, one of our main goals is to use a lot of the material that we find in a couple different capacities. We want to have the opportunity where people obviously would like to put some of these pieces of history in their homes. And we want to create that opportunity. But also with some of the other goods that we find, ones that maybe are just really cool, we want to use them. We want to get them into artisans' hands. We want to get them into people's hands that might be able to reuse them and create something beautiful.
Currently, we, as you all know, we have mountains of post-consumer, post-commercial, and post-industrial waste in the United States and in the world. We throw away, per the EPA metrics, 249 million tons of solid waste a year in the United States. The question is, where does it go? So if you look at this picture, these are laminate chips that are used by the architectural and design community day in and day out to select colors and finishes and patterns to finish projects. And unfortunately, they get thrown away. I think probably 9 out of 10, if not 9.5 out of 10, get thrown away, which we wouldn't consider in zero landfill world the highest and best use. I brought this up to remind us this really is not the highest and best use of a material. This is an excuse or a convenience. One of the things that Polyflow does so well, it takes a very hyperlocal approach as a conversion technology to repurposing and giving a higher and better use to one of the big problems in solid waste world, which is plastics. That pickup truck weighed 50 pounds. The freight in the pickup truck weighed 50 pounds. Landfills are managed by cubic yards, and their business model is based on weight of the material coming in. Do you think landfills want polystyrene, styrofoam in their holes in the ground? They're not going to make any money on the scale because it's so light, it's basically air. And it's very inefficient in their landfill hole in the ground because it expands, it changes. It's very inefficient use of cubic space. What the Polyflow technology does, this is a picture of our operating site up in Perry, Ohio in Lake County. It converts polymer waste into fossil fuel crude oil feedstocks for the petrochemical industry. We make diesel, octane enhancers, simply by repurposing and finding a higher and better use of the hydrocarbon chains that are found in plastics. The unit that's pictured can take in 60 tons of material a day, 60 tons of plastic material a day. That's the equivalent of 1,500 pickup trucks of styrofoam that you just saw. And in doing that, we're looking at taking a circular approach and taking away the linear approach to how solid waste is managed. The linear approach is take it, make it, throw it away, and bury it or burn it. That's the end of life for everything that enters the solid waste chain most of the time. In the world of Polyflow, we want to take a circular, more natural systems approach to it and take those hydrocarbons and those molecule changes, this is deep chemistry that's a patented process, and repurpose it over and over. So we take styrofoam, we take resin code 1 through 7 things, we take red Solo cups and carpet and tires and all kinds of stuff that ends up in the landfill, crack it under pressure, and make diesel out of it. One of the things that we're working on right now in Lake County is a big growers market. The wholesale agricultural business is the anchor to the economy in Perry and Lake County, is taking the growers' waste stream, which is pots, styrene pots, tray liners, agricultural film, hoop house covers, raised bed covering, it's all plastic, and making their own off-road diesel locally right at our facility here for their off-road vehicles, their tractors and bulldozers and things that are essential to their operation. So it's really a mind shift, it's a model shift of looking at waste different and repurposing that highest and better, choosing that highest and best use versus doing it the way it's always been done because it's